Hey everyone, my name is Frank, and I've sold over the past 2 years over 2 million items, not $2 million, 2 million items across multiple platforms. And today I just want to go over three simple, basic rules that I followed to just make sales, to make more sales, and to continue to make sales. Number one, if it's that good of a deal, it would have already sold. So when thinking about price is the number one or one of the top for most sales. And when people are researching, considering to buy something, price is paramount. And so when you're doing research and you're trying to price something, you have to think if it was this is listed currently on the live marketplace. If it was that good of a deal, it would already sold. So it can help you understand what your price needs to be if you want to sell it. And if you don't want to sell it, price it higher than that. That's basically it. When you're pricing things, it's really important to understand this and to lower your price into that sweet spot that gets people to pull the trigger. Because that's going to be the number one factor in a lot of cases is the price. If it's that good of a deal, it would have already sold. Number two, your time matters. When you are listing something or figuring out a category to sell in or figuring out what to sell, the amount of time it takes to list it, to photo it, to store it, to ship it, the shipping supplies, all of those things need to be factored into whether or not you're going to sell it in the first place, whether or not you're going to even get into that field. I don't sell VCRs or heavy electronic equipment because it's hard. You need all different size boxes, different size packing material. You need more storage. The testing takes forever, and you kind of have to do that with certain things. If you sell things untested, I mean, I could just go on and on and on. That's why I don't really sell clothes either, because I don't have the setup for it. The sizes, it takes 10 times as long to list than a video game. And so I pick my categories based on the amount of time it takes me personally in order to source, list, ship, et cetera, et cetera. So your time matters. It needs to be calculated into every single decision you make, from what you're going to buy it, what you're going to decide to buy, what you're going to decide to sell, and the categories you're going to double down on and go into. So really considering that is extremely important. Your time matters. Number three, every question is an opportunity for improvement. This isn't a new concept, but I'm going to apply it to eBay. You get questions. They take time to answer. Also, it detracts from the sales you get. If somebody has a question, how many people have that question that didn't even ask it because they just move on to the next listing because that question goes unanswered. So for instance, if you have a figure, somebody keep asking, what's the size? What's the size? How high? How big is it? How big is it? If you don't have a reference or actual size of how big something is, because you can't tell from the photos, it's going to potentially prevent sales. And so every time you get a question, depending on the category you're in, you want to apply those principles or the question that they have to every single listing you have. I kept getting questions about, hey, can I have extra photos for Pokemon cards? Can I have a couple extra photos? Can I have a couple extra? And I'm like, well, it takes longer to photo a card than to just scan them. But since I photoed cards manually on a camera, yeah, it takes a lot more time, a lot more time, but the sell-through is a lot higher and I don't get questions. So one, my questions go down. Two, I am getting more sales. And three, it's definitely a more sustainable method and something that stands you apart from all the other sellers. You go to type in a Pokemon card, they're all scans. The ones that have a real photo have a real chance of standing out and making that sale. And the sweet spot, the absolute gem here, is combining all those three together every single time that you make a listing, no matter where you sell it. Is it that good of a deal? If it's that good of a deal, it would have already sold. Your time matters, and every question is an opportunity for improvement. And when you combine those together, you're going to have that best price, the clearest sale, and people looking at your listing and being like, wow, well, it is so clear and honest and transparent. It answers every question I have before I even ask it. You've gained trust. A lot of these marketplaces, your store has some random brand name. People trust eBay. That's when they shop on it. But why are they going to shop from your store? And people are going to come back because you sell things in a way where people don't have questions. They don't have qualms. That when there's an unspoken thing like, I'm not sure, people may take a risk, but most people are risk averse and they're not willing to take that risk to pull the trigger on that. And number three, your time matters. And so when you figure out things that, okay, this is the quickest thing to do in the quickest area. And when you consider that, you're going to be able to scale what you do more. You're going to be able to grow in the future. You're going to be able to save your time and figure things out. These are golden rules that I follow, that I've used for every sale or whatnot for every sale on eBay. There's a lot more, but these are really three main ones that I focus on a lot and has been helping me over the years sell as much as we do. Thanks for listening. We'll check you guys out next.